I've got a question for you too, Paul, when you come back to us is, do you think anybody can tell the future 100% accurately and never be wrong? But why don't you come back with your point and then answer that question, if you would.
You won't let me validate my viewpoint. You come in with a counterpoint and you keep me from validating it. Now, I made a statement and you came back with UN. Well, we're talking about the 20s and 30s, what the Zionists did in the 20s and 30s before your UN involvement. It's great. You know, the facts are there. It's all.
What did they do?
The world to see.
What did those Zionists do in the 20s?
They committed genocide by dispossessing the Palestinians of their land. They used brute force and terrorism. Hold
on a second, Paul. Hold on a second, Paul. In 1948, you're talking from the 1920s and 30s. In 1948, my understanding is Arabs owned 3% of the land in Jerusalem, around Jerusalem, in Israel. 3% they owned. The Jews had been buying the land from the Palestinian, well, I've fallen into it, from the Arabs that lived there. Hold on. We say in 1889, a few years before 1920, 3/4 of the people in Jerusalem were Jewish, very few Arabs. They bought those land. Now, somebody might have shot somebody here and there, but you've got your history kind of reversed. The pogroms have always been against the Jews, not the other way around. But if you want to believe that, go right ahead. I'd love you to answer my other question is, do you believe that someone can tell the future 100% accurate? Because you are aligning yourself against the one who's told the future 100% accurately, the one that Isaac Newton, Michael Faraday, Robert Boyle said that there had to be a God, and you're aligning yourself against him. We're only here for a brief time. You better check it out. You really want to be in the other place. You want to be with him because he made your soul, your DNA, and he's going to decide what to do with it when you physically die. Paul, go ahead.
So, yeah, anyone that disagrees with your position or your version of history or that you're putting out is godless.
Hold on. Jesus said that. Jesus said, no man comes to the Father but by me. He said, I had to lay my life down, otherwise you die in your sins. Right, Jay? Do you want to take up on that? That's only... Yeah, Jesus, I'm just sharing Jesus' message. I argued against it into my late 20s. I argued vehemently against it. But I really wasn't... I really wasn't seeking for truth. So it's not my message. It's not Jay's message. It's the clear message of Jesus that he's the only way. Go ahead, Paul.
You asked me to speak, but you will not let me speak, and you will not let me make an affirmative counterpoint. This proposition that you have, okay, all you have to do is look at, not the 20s and 30s. All you have to do is look at what the Israelis have done in Jerusalem to dispossess people of citizenship who are not Jewish, who are Christian, who are Muslim. And you can say the Muslims are anti-God, they're anti-anyone else who isn't a Muslim, and that is a justification to dispossess them of their citizenship and their property.
Hold on. Now, you have opportunity to say these things, but they're lies. They're not factual at all. Israel took in... when this film was made, 16% of the Jewish population was Arab, and most of them Muslim. Christians can live in Israel. They don't get dispossessed of their citizenship. Some Christians have, a few have if they go out and preach Jesus vehemently. The government has sometimes sent people back out of the country, or if they're not from the country originally. But that's a rare occasion. People make these blanket, unhistorical statements that I don't know where they come from. I'm going to let's go away from that because you have no facts for that. They totally fly in the face of reality. And again, it's Israel who's been attacked time and time and time. Rockets have rained into Israel almost every day, from the Gaza Strip since they gave it back to the Arabs that were there. It flies in the face of logic, but you can believe what you want to believe. I'm going to give you a chance to answer this question not go to those ridiculous points anymore. You made the points. You don't have any facts to back them up. If you do, send them to us. We'll put them on the air. You can share 1 or 2 facts, but before you do, we've got John on hold. Hold on, John. Before you do you believe anyone can tell the future 100% accurately, Paul?
Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, the past actions of a government, and the government is a theocratic, not democracy. Okay, it's a theocratic because you have to have bloodline Jewish culture or lineage to be a citizen. It is not in a democracy.
You mean there are no Arab citizens who don't have Jewish blood there?
There are some, yes, and I agree, but to become a citizen, it's a bloodline Jewish test.
Well, let me. Do you understand why that happened? That that the Jews were kicked out of England, kicked out of France, kicked out of Spain, killed at times. 5 to 6 million of them were killed under Adolf Hitler. Do you understand that there's been this hatred of Jews, which we understand coming from Satan? We understand it. The world doesn't understand it. Why this continues and why prophecy says that Jerusalem is going to be a cup of trembling. All this stuff's amazing. And that does explain it. Prophecy explains it, Paul. But did you answer our question about the Bible being, can anyone tell the future 100% accurate? If they do, isn't that supernatural?
Well, you think you can tell the future by your kind of prophecy only because it fits your agenda in the agenda of the
Hold on. We've got people who've been writing about this for centuries. It says that Iran, Persia will be allied with Russia. You show us prophecy that's wrong. We're going to let you go now, Paul. You call back with some prophecy that's wrong, and we'll talk about it. But we've got tons of prophecy that all line up. As we've said from the last few programs, we'd urge you to watch the last few programs off of YouTube or our website. We don't have them up on YouTube yet, but they're up on Ustream. You can find it off our website, Ustream. The last few are there, where we show a lot of these prophecies. And those are the things that Isaac Newton, Michael Faraday, Robert Boyle, they said, man, they're all true. The prophecies in the Bible all come true. It's supernatural. We understand probability mathematics. By chance, you can't be right 100% of the time. Thanks for your call, Paul. When you have some facts, we'll talk some more with you. John, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Thank you for taking my call. And while I was on hold, the last caller began to reach the point that I was calling to make. And I was wondering, Jay and Mike, if you would agree that at times, many times, the governments of a nation run counter to the religions they profess to believe in, whether it's the government of Israel running counterproductive to the faith of Judaism, the governments of the Islamic nations running counterproductive to the faith of Islam, and here in our own country, where a lot of times the actions of our government you scratch your head and you wonder, what Bible are they reading? And so I guess my question is, will it ever be possible to be critical and hold accountable the government of Israel without being labeled an anti-Semite?
Jay?
Boy, that's a really good question. I don't believe so, John. Israel is secular as America. And their government, though they adhere to the Judaism of their forefathers, they do not walk in the promises that their forefathers talked about. So therefore, they're leaning on their own understanding, but yet you can see the sovereign hand of God continually protecting them in that covenant promise that he's made with Israel. And as far as America, we were a nation found under Christian leaders, but yet we decided we didn't need God anymore. We're going to do it our way. And henceforth, I don't think we'll ever get back to that point of, in 2 Chronicles 7:14, it says, unless you humble yourselves and pray and ask for forgiveness, it's not going to happen. And as we've seen the decline, let's just go from the 50s in America to the 60s, to the 70s, to the 80s, to what we have today. since we threw God out, we've gone straight downhill like a snowball.
Yeah, the dollar has been going down, if you notice, John, and I totally agree with Jay, and I agree with you. Yeah, a lot of governments run counter to what they were originally founded on, or whatever.